Okay. Wow. I am impressed that everything is kind of working today. So, hello, everybody. I'm Brian. This is Bringing Down Security on a Sunday evening. I'm a little early, even when I'm doing a normal show with Mr. Betcher and Miss Berlin. But I, hadn't done anything on Friday and wanted to make sure that we got some audio for folks, some video, some content. We'll see. I'm working on a few things. I spent the weekend trying to figure out some issues. Linux is, man, I don't understand. The more I delve into Linux to try to actually use it as a non, email and what have you tool, it stymies me every time. I was trying to do some stuff with DaVinci Resolve, which some of you have heard me mention a little bit on video editing because I'm trying to learn how to do video editing on the side. And, for content here, one or two jump cuts, like, where I would, jump from here to here. And to here. And then there would be stuff in the middle. On Ubuntu, I pull down a video from YouTube and I try to import it and it doesn't work. And if I try to import a different codec or what have you, I either get a video I either get no video and an audio or I get nothing at all. The thing is, I can go and download the exact same video, codecs and container-wise, on a Windows 10 box, which is this one, or my Windows 11, which is my Surface, run DaVinci Resolve on both of those, and it works. And I don't know why. Don't get any error messages. I just get nothing. So I guess I could look at logs. I guess I could look at some of those things. But there's no error message or anything. And I can't imagine it's a DaVinci Resolve problem because you'd think the issue that would exist on a Windows or Linux box would also repeat itself in Windows. My guess is that there's some kind of importation issue. I know that things like Reaper, if you tried to import an M4A file or something like that, the Apple lossless version, it doesn't like it. So especially when I do audio podcasts for y'all, I pull down the audio from YouTube and it's in an M4A format, and I have to convert it to MP3 using FFmpeg. And so there may be some issues there. The problem is, while the audio comes out great, I have to transcode the video, and sometimes these hour-long videos get fairly weighty. So trying to figure out why that doesn't work in Linux. But, so far it's there's yet another problem with Linux that I have to figure out. So, oh no, Walt, please tell me you didn't get COVID at PAX. Hey, Walt, you know what? I was just thinking of you the other day. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming, Walt. I hope you didn't get COVID. That would have been awful. But I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me today. How was PAX? I never actually got to go to that because I didn't feel like I fit in there because I wasn't a video gamer. So didn't ever go to PAX conference. Or, sorry, not a conference. It would be what, a convention? Yeah. I don't know what the difference between a convention and a conference is. Maybe a conference has speakers and a convention doesn't. But a convention has speakers and panels. And a conference has speakers and panels and tracks. And, convention has vendor pit. Oh, no, wait. Seller's pit? No. I think the only difference between a convention and a conference is we don't have infosec people sitting at tables signing autographs, which if we did, we'd hit peak stupid. So we're right there, but I hope you didn't. I hope you're getting over your COVID okay there, Walt. I got my vaccine a couple days ago. It was much smaller than other days. Well, I know but just before we left, there was a work in progress where they had expanded the exhibition center, or the conference center there. So they were talking on the news how they had to turn customers away because they had so much, need for it. And I was like, wow, okay, cool. So they expanded it. So, there'll be more conferences and things there. When you say it was much smaller than other days, was it just because it was a Monday, or because they actually scaled it back because after like the issues with SakuraCon, they didn't want to have to deal with, mobs and people like, getting nuts? I think that's what it was. I think it was it the SakuraCon mob. I don't know. It wasn't a mob, but a large grouping event pool people. Well, yeah. PAX is like the PAX convention, but security people have conferences, and I was like, well, Black Hat's a convention, I guess. I guess it depends on size, right? A conference would be like, 100 to 1,000 people, and a convention would be 1,000 to infinite. Yeah, I don't know. But I remember there being an issue with SakuraCon, I thought, or another one of those conferences that, a lot of folks go to, or there's a lot of cosplay going on, and people were packed in, and so there was some discussion about the fact that it was super weighty like that. So. How you been? Everything good? I know you're recovering from COVID. It's not everything's good. You've got COVID, but I hope you've had. It's been a couple of weeks, I think, since I've seen you on here, at least commenting on stream. So I'm glad you're here. Let me see. I was actually going to talk about some things. All of this probably won't be on the audio podcast. So if you're listening to the audio podcast, go check out the VOD on YouTube. Go check out Twitch. It's still, no, it's not September anymore, but you can still subscribe on Twitch using your Prime Gaming. I think most people were done by Sunday night. It's a 4-day event. PAX is the same as SurCon. Oh, 70,000. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, definitely make sure you take your vitamin C and get your electrolytes and get yourself better. At least you can. Well, I don't want to say at least you can still work from home. I mean, you should take your sick days if you're sick, regardless if you can work from home or no. But yeah. Let me see. Yeah, there you go. I actually put my chroma up, which is why got a background. I don't have a background anymore. It was blue and now it's all black again. Let me see. What was I looking at? Oh, it's probably on my. What was the thing I was looking at? Was it on Feedly? I had something on my Surface, which our galaxy could be only half as heavy as we once thought. Oh, well, maybe it's been working out. Maybe it's been going to a gym or something. Maybe. Could be. Oh, yeah, LibWebP. There was a blog post, a really nice write-up. Oh, what was it? Isosceles blog? Isosceles blog? LibWebP. There it is. So this, you have a private certificate that was expiring. Yeah. You got to keep an eye on those things. Definitely want to have a calendar, like maybe a group calendar or something when you've got certificates that are expiring, especially if they're all at once, or like most companies, they're spread out over the course of the year. So you'd be like, oh, this one's going to expire in 2 years, this one's going to expire in a year. So I don't know what Isosceles does. I didn't want to investigate that too heavily. The important thing is I don't think they mention, hey, buy us and we'll tell you how to do stuff. But this was a good write-up on the LibWebP stuff. libwebp is an interesting one for me. And I've talked about it, I think, on Tuesday a little bit. I've talked about it the week before. They're still trying to hammer out everything that it uses. It feels like the internet's like, I don't know exactly where this is and everything. We're still trying to figure it out. Some things internally and on our Slack. And you know what is, I just bought a Surface Book 2 for a friend, paid $250. You know what? I bought a used Surface Pro 8 on Amazon for like $500. I'm pleasantly surprised at how sturdy and how performant it is. You know, for something that doesn't have a discrete graphics card or, you know, a graphics card to speak of, it's not an NVIDIA or an RTX or anything like that, it will push out an OBS stream at least 720p, and it doesn't get all that hot. And I was really actually pleasantly surprised at the same time pushing a 4K video monitor. So I was like, that's not bad for a tablet, you know, basically like an iPod, not an iPod, it's like a 12-inch screen. Not bad. Cannot argue with that. So the Surface Book is nice. The reason I got the 8 was it was like the first gen that had USB-C ports. The 3 and the 4 that I had nothing but USB-A, and I was like, God, I don't want that. I don't want that anymore. I want to be able to also charge using the USB-C ports in the Surface instead of having to carry around a unique power adapter. But yeah, libwebp, if you haven't had to deal with it yet, I'm going to say that you probably just updated your browsers and called it good. If you use any kind of open source software in your company, and I'm not speaking directly to Walt here, but if you use any kind of open source software in your company that deals with, you know, audio or video, or this is one of those things that gets installed with like VLC if you're using it on your open source system, because VLC uses FFmpeg, which uses things like, you know, libwebp. The biggest issue that I've seen with it is it's a second or a third level dependency, just like Log4j, where we, you know, didn't know that it was being used by all these things. The other thing I have an issue with is it seems to be installed everywhere because a lot of no, that's too hasty generalization. I actually did have to install FFmpeg on my Ubuntu box, but it seems like it's on a lot of systems because people install things to make their system usable. And if you install LibreOffice, you've got it, right? If you install, anything that deals with graphics, Inkscape, Krita, GIMP, any of those, you're going to be, you've got libwebp. And, one of the things I was looking at, because I have to have a status meeting with my boss and bosses and capital L leadership this week, is, what are Huffman tables? Because they're like, oh, it's a buffer overflow in the Huffman tables. Yeah, well, Google created libwebp, and it is the, web image format du jour because, it's pretty, ubiquitous. So, of course, Google has their implementation because they invented it and they released it open source. I didn't know what a Huffman table was. And I didn't know how an overflow in the Huffman tables would work. So had to go and find this website called blog.isosceles.com. You can check the chat on both YouTube and we're simulcasting this, of course. But it's on YouTube, it's on Twitch. Check the show notes for in your audio podcast. Anyway, so it initially, of course, for those of you who aren't aware, started out as hey, patch all the browsers. patch your Firefox, patch your Chrome. This is, really bad. This has a really good timeline. So the blog has a really great timeline of how this started. So there was early September discussion with Citizen Lab, which is an organization that detected suspicious behavior on an iPhone of an individual employed by a Washington, D.C. based civil society organization. I don't know what the hell that means, a civil society organization. My guess is it's an NGO or something like that is influential with government and has ties to countries that, they're trying to work to, bring about change in those governments, something like that. And so Citizen Lab detected behavior on an iPhone. They attributed the behavior to a zero-click exploit in iMessage being used by NSO's Pegasus spyware, which is the commercial spyware used by, it was up till recently used by FBI's third parties to, gain access to phones and to be able to spy on people they deemed needed to be. Apple was told by Citizen Lab about the zero-click vulnerability and released a bulletin on September 7th with two new CVEs. And but the problem was, BlastPass is the iMessage, the bypass for their sandbox. And 2023-41061 is what the Apple version was. And then people found out, it's in browsers, it's an image parsing framework, it takes bytes and attempts, image decoder. Of course, not a lot of technical details in 2023-41064, because just like Oracle, Apple tends to not give out a lot of good information there on that. So you get, buffer overflow was issued with improved memory handling. It's fixed in 16.6.1 iOS and iPadOS 16.6.1 and Monterey 12.6.9, Ventura 13.5.2. Yeah, all the iOSs all the way back to Big Sur 11.7.10. So a malicious crafted image may lead to arbitrary code execution. So, and it's being actively exploited. So it's still only 7.8 for them because there's some obviously additional issues that got to be done. Anyway, so just to scroll down through where they talked about they contacted Google. Google issued 2023-4863. Then they go, oh crap! It's not just browsers. It's a lot of other things, to the point where it's like, oh, we need another CVE. NIST declined that CVE and said it was a duplicate of 4863 because somebody at Google didn't realize, oh crap, it's in a lot of the things. So so there is to replicate the bug, there is instructions on the website. And I'll bump that up so everybody can look. You can check out from Chromium, specific checkout ID is there if you want to get the vulnerable code and then attempt to do the proof of concept code there. There was also one at Misty Mint Cop, Misty MNTCOP on GitHub, where you can also pull that proof of concept code down and copy. I will put that in the chat as well. There we go. Oh, that's good. I like I like that little bit there. So there we go. So the Huffman trees, as you can see here, I'm not exactly sure how the tooling works for this. Let me zoom in on some of this stuff. It's interesting. I'm not exactly sure these must be different fixes, or it says if you zoom in, you can see Okay, so invalid input is quite unusual. Mountain Cop provided the following visualization of the Huffman tree as it creates using a tool they wrote for this in the analysis. So there's a tool that they released to analyze the POC for this. Tree nodes. Okay, open branches and current tree node. So, so a Huffman table, for those of you who don't know, Huffman table. Huffman coding is a particular type of optimal code prefix that is commonly used for lossless data compression. Kind of like, so instead of lossy like MP3, it would be like FLAC in this case, or for graphic pictures, instead of JPEG, it'd be like PNG, lossless PNGs. They're lossless JPEGs as well, which may actually use libwebp. But yeah, PNG, TIFF, the lossless formats, the ones that aren't going to be mangled like the MP3s of the world. So your JPEGs, which are good enough, versus PNGs, which are, a little bit bigger, but they have all the necessary coding and stuff in there. And a prefix code is a type of code system distinguished by its possession of What I love is when people explain something and then they link to something else with a description, and then I have to it's like 3 a.m. and I'm trying to figure out what the hell a prefix code is now. Prefix code is a type of code system distinguished by its possession of the prefix property. Of course. Yeah, makes so much sense. Jesus, explain like I'm a 5-year-old. Is there something like that here? Like explain like I'm 5? For example, a code with the code words 955 has the prefix property. I have no idea. I don't understand lossless data compression, so you'll just have to read up on all of the Wikipedia pages for this, because it's very important. Hey, Magnesium, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming and hanging out. And happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month. I look forward to pissing off all of our customers with phishing tests this month and our annual security training, which everyone will abhor, but have to do because it's a requirement. So, but yeah. Anywho, it's a good write-up. WebP. There's a lot of discussion about how it works, and the image decoder throws an error and nothing bad happens. So yeah, there's a whole big discussion in this this blog post about that. I meant to shrink this up. My apologies. So it says, what's the big deal? There's some good news and bad news. Good news is Citizen Lab found a top tier exploit being used in the wild. How are things in SD? It is a very nice 72, 73 degrees. It wasn't very sunny today, but it was not overly cloudy. And it's not raining, which if you're in New York, I apologize. You're probably watching this in a rubber boat. There was a lot. I saw the flooding and the videos from that. In Seattle, of course, it's the rainy season from October to March-ish. So yeah, I saw that Seattle was getting a fair bit of rain and garbage as well. So the good news is Citizen Lab found this top tier exploit being used in the wild. They contacted Apple. Apple's like, yep, we need to fix that. And of course, they let Google know. Google, bad news is they continue to have societal ramifications, and we can only guess how really bad the situation is. Truth is, nobody knows for sure, even people with exploits. Apple and Chrome did an amazing job at responding to the issue with urgency it deserves. I would argue that maybe Google could have done some more due diligence and figured out and issued a better CVE that included thmpeg like, FFmpeg and ImageMagick and LibreOffice and pretty much anything that, it uses libwebp, because if it's possible to pass a bad graphic into into ImageMagick, into FFmpeg, into LibreOffice, for all the 4 people that use LibreOffice, Yeah, I saw the videos of New York. I recognized some of the areas because I think we stayed at an Airbnb in Hell's Kitchen, just about 10, 15 blocks from Broadway. And I believe that area was flooded for all intents and purposes. Yeah, it was a nice area of New York. It still is a nice area of New York. It just happens to be underwater right now. So hopefully that will subside soon. And yeah, I can't imagine trying to ride the subways and trying to get around in 2 feet of water. Some people were like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to drive in this. The whole turn around, don't drown thing doesn't work when you live in a city and you know that you've got to get somewhere. So several cars, I was like, ooh, that's a wet ride. Or the buses where it was like they open the doors and the water just comes pouring in and people are just trying to get on and everybody's just wet and soaked. It's just not a good time. Not a good time. Bad news is Android is still likely affected. Android has a facility called Bitmap Factory that handles image decoding, and of course WebP is supported. Android hasn't released a security bulletin that includes 2023 4863. I just got my updates on my phone, on my Pixel phone, and if they didn't get in the September update, they may get into the October one, maybe, unless they do an out of band kind of thing. I'm one of those for using LibreOffice. Magnesium, I appreciate the need to use LibreOffice. If you didn't get here earlier, you heard my rant about DaVinci Resolve and Ubuntu not working properly, but it works well on Windows. I used LibreOffice when I was in OpenBSD for a while. It took about 12 hours to build on my Inspiron 1650 at the time, I think. But yeah, I mean, it's nice. Has it had an UI update? Has it had a UI update, or does it still look like Office 2005? Because just like Microsoft Office, it needs multi-tabbed interface based on OpenOffice. I wouldn't. LibreOffice 7.6. Discover. It's the doc Excel version of the B-Sides Toronto preference. I see. Yeah, the UI still looks okay. Nothing's changed there. Once Google Docs and everything just kind of became the standard, I haven't looked back and, didn't need 450 megs worth of hard drive space used up by LibreOffice. There's still once in a while, it's like, oh, I wish I could, edit this locally. One second. Got something on the floor here. I don't know what that was. Ouch. Okay. What the hell was that? There it is. Anyway. Yeah. Scorpion? Yeah. Well, we don't have scorpions. It's not warm enough there for this. But so far we've been good. It almost felt like it was a piece of metal or something. Scraped my toe. Anyway, enough about WebP. That was a good blog post anyway. Sockville. Oh yeah, Sockville quiz came up. Let's go see how poorly I do on that this week. So for those of you watching the audio, you can follow along. There will be spoilers if you actually want to, do the Sockville quiz for October 1st, or you can wait until much later. Sockville is a threat detection kind of quiz where it's like you can get yourself educated on things that are happening in the news. So usually 10 questions, multiple choice, and they'll have a good link to a news article, usually not paywalled. Sometimes the PDFs that they include as part of the reports are behind a sales paywall. I may find the link and then, give it out. But you don't have to give your real information usually. Who's buying Splunk? Well, that's the worst answer ever. So, of course, it's Crisco, or Cisco in this case. Bought it for the low price of 1 month of Splunk service. $23 billion, I think. I was really interested in the reaction. Do you want guesses in the chat? Sure, Magnesium, you can definitely do so. That one I did not worry about getting any kind of guesses for, because that was it was all over the webosphere. And $157 per share in cash, $28 billion. And of course, the initial jokes are, it was cheaper for Cisco to buy Splunk than it was to pay them a monthly bill and what have you. There was a lot of, I don't want to say animosity, but there was a lot of people that was like, oh my God, Cisco bought them. Now it's time to rip everything out and replace it. And I was like, not realistic. For people doing things at scale, for third-party MSSPs, they're not just going to rip Splunk out and replace it with what, right? There was a lot of hate. Yeah. I think the worst they could have done would have been to be bought by Oracle. I would have been more worried about Oracle, just because Splunk is Oracle is not a good company. I would say Oracle would probably have been the worst. So Cisco, I did hear some examples of, they bought, this system and this system, and sometimes they buy things to kill their competition. They bought some wireless companies, or they bought some wireless kit companies, and then they disappeared. It's possible that's the case. I think Splunk is going to be one of those ones that's going to be. I don't think Cisco wants to kill it because it is a cash cow. I think for the next at least 2 years, and one of my friends actually was like, 12 to 18 months, and I was like, if you really want to try to rip it out and replace it with whatever the distant number 2 is, you can do that. I don't know of any other company other than Splunk. There's probably Gray Noise or something like that. Yeah, cash cow, some innovation left in the chamber. Yeah, and Cisco, it's prohibitively expensive for a lot of companies, right? And so my thought was Cisco's going to, one, let nothing happen for 6 months, because technically day one hasn't even occurred. They still have to go through, doing all of their stuff. They intend to acquire it for $28 billion in equity. It's right. You're right, Walt. Cisco is buying revenue and growth. They're also buying up all of the, they may have had a competitor to Splunk that I don't even know if Cisco had a SIM, but if they did, it was probably one that was, in that lower left-hand, quadrant on Gartner, because, they didn't pay Gartner enough to get in the upper right quadrant. There's gonna, they could, the innovations that Walt is talking about could be like, being able to, have better visibility into network gear. You're going to have modules that are going to fit into Cisco gear that's going to allow you to put your logs and your IDS stuff into Splunk directly, or, I don't know if you have a third. I don't know the integrations right now. Somebody's probably yelling, "Oh, they already do that." Okay, great. There's always ways to innovate that and make it less, cumbersome or more useful or what have you. Splunk has source stuff, right? So I think for probably the next 6 months to 2 years, nothing much is going to happen. You may see, I think probably the first thing you'll see is a change in the licensing or the payment model. I don't think you're going to see a Unity type model, because Unity games really dicked themselves on that one. I think you're going to see, if you really want to take the time to, rip and replace Splunk, you're going to have a really good reason to go to your management and go, we want to get rid of a best in breed for number 2. And I don't think they came across well in my conversations with my friend on Twitter. But you can't just walk up to management and go, oh my God, Cisco and Splunk, or hooking up, and we need to replace them now. And, your managers be like, why? And they're like, well, because they're Cisco. Okay. Yeah, not good. Not good enough. Not good enough. You're going to have a real good justification for that. And supposition and, they did it for this thing, so they're going to do it to Splunk. It's not going to happen. So I wouldn't waste the time on doing that until something's really, Right. Magnesium, 100%. Drilled. Yeah. I mean, usually replaced, it's like, what's that adage? Nobody got fired for buying IBM or something like that. Nobody ever got fired for buying Splunk, and it, that's just it. Have a good reason. Don't use supposition, hard facts. Wait till the shoe drops. That's going to really, pooch you, like, oh my God, they're licensing fees, you can entertain what that would look like, the rip and replace, but then you're going to be engaging salespeople who are going to be like, oh yeah. And you're probably going to get email from vendor spam, and vendor spam going, oh, what's the threshold for improvement to justify the rip and replace? See, that's the problem. Can you even say that there's going to be, X percent improvement? And not only you're going to rip and replace, but you're also going to have things like, what's the outages like? What's the resourcing like? What's the tooling like? I mean, whole companies buy, it's like the Unity Games thing. It's like you've got companies like Epic and Blizzard that hire people because of their Unity knowledge. And now that Unity is, screwing things up. What's Pow? What is it? Well, you come in here, Pow. But yeah, it's like you buy engineers who know Splunk, and it's like, oh, well, we're going to go to Gray Noise. And it's like, not to belittle Gray Noise, because that's I think the only other SIM provider I think of. But it's like, now you've got to buy and hire Gray Noise people or something like that. Hey, hey, Lady P. No, I wasn't trying to avoid you, Lady P. I know that you're busy. And Friday, I just, wasn't feeling it. So, yeah. But I'm glad you're here too. The cost for training, magnesium, exactly. Training, ramp up. The issues, you've been working with Splunk for X number of years, so all the little peccadillos. Now you're going to rip and replace it with a Splunk competitor, and it's like you've got all the new problems, right, that you're going to have to hammer out. And I'm not using that as a fear and, like, oh, don't, if you're going to have problems with the other ones. You may or may not. It's just, it's a different horse that you're about to ride, and you don't know what you don't know. But yeah, going to management with hey, we need to get rid of Splunk now, or we need to investigate getting rid of Splunk, you're going to have a good freaking reason why, in my opinion. So that management will listen to, that isn't, Lady P, if you've got, examples, then that would be good. But, I don't think Cisco's going to do anything to ruin them. So anyway, enough of that. Links in the chat. Put that in YouTube. Put that in here. There you go. That's investor.cisco. Numero dos. For which of these open source libraries? Oh, God. Okay. For which of these open source libraries was a CVE logged with a score of 10 out of 10, then rejected again as a duplicate of an 8.8/10 CVE? Gee, I wonder which one. That would be libwebp, of course. Yep. Okay, who are the 11 people who did not know this answer? Seriously. I mean, I could never afford a Splunk license. The difference when Cisco takes over is I will neither be able to afford nor understand the license. Magnesium. You didn't know about the libwebp thing? Oh, man. So yeah, libwebp is kind of a big deal. I put a link up in the chat up top here about a write-up about it. So you should go check that out. libwebp is in FFmpeg, it's in ImageMagick, it's in LibreOffice, because I was making the joke of one of 4 people who use LibreOffice, and then you said I'm one of the 4 people that use LibreOffice. That's because I was making the point of it's inside of LibreOffice. I don't think it's an image tragic. I think that there's a lot of discussion about that. But they said that it's more widespread than expected. One of the things that I was using at work to prove it was I went to Arch Linux libwebp, and I was looking at their dependency tree for the stuff that. So. I don't know why I used Arch Linux, but I just looked up libwebp dependencies, and this is what came up. So this is the new version, 1.3.2-1 is the update for this. There's other libraries that are involved here, but when I was like, required by, so you've got Chromium, you've got Electron apps, Emacs uses, of course Emacs uses it. I don't use Arch Linux. That's filthy, Lady P, and I that is reprehensible. I cannot believe you thought I might actually use Arch Linux. I'm disgusted. So yeah, Emacs has it. FFmpeg, of course, FreeImage, GIMP, Graphics Magic, and of course ImageMagick. Krita, which is a GIMP. Better than GIMP, actually. I hear Krita is actually used by like Hollywood studios. It's very similar to how DaVinci Resolve is used. NetSurf, OpenCV, Qt5 and Qt6. So, desktops and apps that, might, process images in quick Qt5 and 6. Thunderbird, they issued a CVE for Thunderbird, WebKit stuff, so headless browsers, anything like that uses a headless browser. Tesseract, WebRTC, I believe, was also suggested. Thank you, Magnesium. I'm glad I could help out today on this, the first day of our Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Here's ImageMagick down at the bottom. Now it says it's only required in the make, so it's not required, I think, to run, maybe. But I have, here's LibreOffice, Office. I did hear WebRTC was involved, but I don't see it here as a specific system. Anything that, even including devices. If you have IoT devices that are have screens, for instance, or process or handle telecommunication, like, you're sending messages over your Facebook portal thing, whatever. Those probably have FFmpeg to process the audio and video, and by dint of FFmpeg has libwebp involved too. So. This is the only ones that I know of in Arch Linux. There's probably others as well, and included in that. So, libpng and those other ones. So there's a lot there. So if you have Electron apps, if you make Electron apps, then it probably uses libwebp as well as a dependency. So. But anyway, somebody else mentioned I don't know when it got introduced into the system, but gzip, zlib was the other one that I was thinking of a few years ago. The odd thing is libwebp has had a score of bad vulnerabilities in the last few years. I think they had one in 2021, which was like an 8.8. I think they had one in 2018 as well that was in the mid 7s or 8s. Not sure why those didn't make a lot of news or make a lot of kerfuffle. But yeah, this one just happened to hit a perfect storm of, well, we ain't had a really good vulnerability in a few years or a few days. So, there we are. So yeah, libwebp. Number 3, sysdig researchers uncovered an operation called Amber Squid, which can cost victims up to $10,000 per day. Which services are targeted by the TA being threat actor in this case? Azure, VMware, Google Cloud, AWS. Oh man, this one is it's going to be a complete guess. I don't know Amber Squid. Magnesium, Lady P, any of our other viewers? Actually have multiple viewers. Okay, sweet. Amber being yellow, guessing Google. Because Azure's blue, of course. AWS is kind of an orangish color, but we'll go with Google Cloud for magnesium. Let us shoot the dice here. Oh, okay. So Amber Squid in this case was in fact AWS. AWS will just randomly cost you $10K a day with threat actor. So sysdig, hidden threat, Amber Squid, cloud-native crypto-jacking operation. Uncovered a novel cloud-native crypto-jacking operation they've named Amber Squid. Leverages AWS services not commonly used by attackers, such as AWS Amplify, Fargate, and SageMaker. Ooh, SageMaker. Interesting. The uncommon nature of these services means that they're often overlooked from a security perspective, and the Amber Squid operation can cost victims more than $10,000 a day. Able to exploit cloud services without triggering the AWS requirement for approval of more resources, as would be the case if they only spammed EC2 instances. Targeting multiple services also poses additional challenges, like incident responses. It requires finding and killing all miners in each exploited service. Yes. Interesting. So they have a 2023 cloud threat report in this document. You can go check that out. There we go. There's the sysdig article for y'all in chat, and it'll be in the show notes, of course. How you doing, Lady P? I took Friday off, I think. Thursday, I went and got an ultrasound on my ankle. Actually, they checked both my legs because they thought I might have venous insufficiency. Apparently, there's valves in your veins in your legs that keep the blood from going back down when your heart's pumping it back up. So they're trying to see if I have a valve issue, which comes with old age. Failing that, then I get to do things like CAT scans and MRIs. So what I'm hoping is that it's not venous insufficiency, and it's just a good old-fashioned old injury from my knee or something like that that's causing issues. So I have a little edema, but it's not awful, and I have some soccer socks, which I'm telling myself that is what soccer players and football players wear. And yet I was driving home today, and I saw somebody who was about 85 wearing my exact same compression socks. So it's just one of those things. My wife calls them man hose, and I was like, I'm not a man hoe, and she's like, no, your socks are just hose. And I was like, thanks honey, I love you. We joke like that all the time. She gives me a good stick in the eye. AWS published a write-up. Oh, this is number four. AWS published a write-up on how they track and deter threat actors. What is the name given to the suite of tools used to streamline this process? You'd think I would know this. Streamlining the process. I don't think it's CloudWatch. I think CloudWatch is a log thing. I'm going to say Guard Duty. Yeah, Guard Duty sounds right. Yeah, Arcano 64. Welcome to the Terror Dome. And Magnesium. I'm going to go with Guard Duty as well. Oh, apparently everyone else thought the same. It is, in fact, something called Mad Pot. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, let's go look and see how they deter threat actors. Oh, pot, like honey pots. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's the thing. Honeypots, yes, okay. So their whole story is they use honeypots to deter bad guys and bad actors. So this is their write-up on how they do that. 3 minutes to exploit attempt, no time to waste. 90 seconds after launching a new sensor within our MadPod simulated workload, we observe that the workload has been discovered by probes scanning the internet. From there, it takes only 3 minutes on average before attempts are made to penetrate and exploit. This is an astonishingly short amount of time, considering that these workloads aren't advertised or part of other visible systems that would be obvious to threat actors. This clearly demonstrates the veracity of scanning taking place and the high degree of automation that threat actors employ to find their next target. I would say they're just using mass scan with, botnets that can scan everything in a matter of 3 minutes. And any new changes that happen to the internet happen, which means everything is being constantly banged on, scanned, and what have you. So as these attempts run their course, the MadPod system analyzes the telemetry, code, and attempted network connections and other key data points of the threat actor's behavior. This information becomes even more valuable as we aggregate threat actor activities to generate a more complete picture of available intelligence. Well, there you go. You can read that whole article. I'm sure there's a lot of good information in there. Some, 5.5 billion signals from our internet threat sensors, 1.5 billion signals from our active network probes, 1.3 million outbound botnet-driven DDoS attacks. They share their security intelligence findings over nearly botnet of thousands, botnet C2 hosts. Nice. 230K worth of L7 or HTTP DDoS attacks. And they dismantle those, so that's pretty sweet. Go check that out. Read that one. We'll get to number 5 here. Let me make sure I've add these to all the. Detection is not equal to deterrence. Well, I guess that's true, magnesium. I guess the deterrence in this case would be to set up so much stuff that they can't separate the noise from the signal from the noise, So if they're finding honeypots that, they spend their time banging on, then they might be dissuaded in some way. I don't know. All right, next. The DFIR report, all one word, DFIR report, investigated a ransomware case where the threat actors abused legitimate RMM software during their attack. Which RMM software was up for abuse this time? I want to say AnyConnect, because I don't know. I don't think Disconnect is one. I don't know Screen Connect. I think there is an AnyConnect software. I'm going to go with AnyConnect unless somebody has some other answer that they want to try. I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, everyone said AnyConnect. It is Screen Connect. Okay. I don't know Screen Connect. Yeah. AnyConnect is Cisco's VPN. You're right. I don't know a Screen Connect. RMM, of course, is remote management and monitoring. DFI. Somebody had mentioned that there was one inside of our Slack. Somebody had mentioned they were getting spanked pretty hard. It was an RMM tool. I forget the name of it at this time. So an intrusion from October 2022, threat actor relying on RMM tools initial access ended a somewhat botched Hive ransomware deployment. The initial payload was an executable masquerading as a legitimate document. According to Huntress, this campaign is likely delivered as an email with a link, causing the executable's download when clicked on. The execution of the file resulted in the installation of Screen Connect. Screen Connect is a legit from ConnectWise. So you've got your lovely, website where people, it's got great reviews, 4 stars based on 832 reviews. How many of these 5-star reviews is ConnectWise is so easy to use. I can even use it for, gaining access to internal systems. Oh, wait, my bad. So there's a write-up there. they've got execution. It looks like they have a nice write-up, including a walkthrough of how, you get your initial access through MSI exe, set up MSI, which is, there's a document 8765.exe, and then it goes through and walks you through how everything works and how everything connects back to the server. And a lot of nice icons on that person's desktop. Interesting. You would have thought if they were doing screenshots to show walkthroughs and think, oh, hey, what's up? Oh, I see. Okay, well, I know I'm not downstairs. It's Sunday, I know. So yeah, it's a good write up here. No, you're gonna make people go away. You're gonna make people go away. All right, I'll put that right up in there. Okay, so question numero 7. Talking about CVSS 10s, which one of these also clocked the 10 of 10 this week? Progress Site Infinity, Progress WSFTP, Progress Move It, or Progress Flowmon? I actually know this one because I commented in our Slack channel, it's 2023. Who's the idiot still using this? It is, in fact, I think, WSFTP. Ding, 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 ding. WSFTP server, because it's 2023 and people still want to freaking use FTP in their environments. Recently discovered vulnerabilities in the ad hoc transfer module and the WSFTP server manager interface. All versions of WSFTP server are affected by these vulnerabilities. Prior versions to 8.7.4 and 8.8.2, a pre-authenticated attacker could leverage a .NET deserialization vulnerability in the ad hoc transfer module to execute remote commands on the underlying WSFTP server operating system. It is 2023. This is the version, this is like WinRAR, folks. Why the hell are you using FTP in 2023? I think I actually mentioned that I would get my DeLorean up to 88 miles an hour and go back and run over the creator of WSFTP and the FTP and RSH protocols. So shouldn't be too hard to do. I'm thinking before they invent them, of course. I think it would probably be a good idea. Apologies if you're watching this and you were the inventor of RSH or FTP protocols. Yeah, 9.9, 8.3, the 10, there's, congratulations. Everything, they have several 8.3, 8.2s, 8.3s. Here's a 9.9 directory transversal vulnerability as well. There's also a reflected cross-site scripting vulnerability in the transfer module. An attacker can leverage this vulnerability to target server users with a specialized payload, which results in the execution of malicious JavaScript within the context of the victim's browser. Because, if it's not bad enough that we're using FTP server, WSFTP server in 2023, they give it a web interface with JavaScript. I mean, for fuck's sake, people. Sorry, I apologize for children in the room. Yeah, WSFTP client's not bad. You shouldn't be using the FTP client. Hey, Beta Wolf, how you doing? I had to use WRQ reflections when I was in the Navy, working on the NMCI project back 20 years ago. They disabled the SSH version and only allowed people to use the FTP part. And I tried to impress upon them as a new, person to security why they would do that. And the NMCI folks or the IT folks over at DISA were like, oh, we can't tell you why. And that was the wrong answer, because at that point I had to start digging and understanding why I couldn't use SSH in my environment. Cool. Okay, so WSFTP client also has apparently an SFTP client. I guess that's better. Hopefully, the FTP portion is buried deep and you can't enable it. But yeah, so there's ugly vulns in WSFTP server. There you go. And of course, it's got the JavaScripts and it's got cross-site scripting all up in it, because you can use a web browser to upload files. So, all right, number 8, group IB. I'm assuming it's IB instead of 1B. We'll find out. Somebody will let me know. Wrote about Shadow Syndicate, a new ransomware as a service player. What were 52 servers used by the TA threat actor to host? What were the 52 servers used by the threat actor to host? That's an odd way of saying it. Okay, so either victim encryption keys, Cobalt Strike C2 framework, a victim's stolen data, or the Brute Rattle C4 framework. I have no idea on this one. My guess is it's some kind of C2. Exactly, Lady P. But a lot of people are like, oh, I use SCP as well. I use FileZilla. FileZilla is pretty crappy too. WinSCP is not bad as an SFTP or SCP client. But Windows now has an SSH server that you could just stand up and just give people WinSCP. You know what I mean? And it's free. I don't know how secure WinSCP is, but it's got to be better than WSFTP. I mean, that feels so damn crufty. For this one, for this question, I'm going to go with Cobalt C2. Oh yeah, Putty forever, yeah. I'm going to go with Cobalt Strike C2 framework. Weird. The gift that keeps on giving. Thank you, Cobalt Strike inventors. Because their beacons are just so good. So no sleep until the Crime Fighters Club is done with finding an answer to who's behind the ransomware as a service. Group IB began receiving highly positive feedback from cybersecurity community regarding the publication of a joint research. As a result, Group IB threat intelligence analysts teamed up with Joshua Penny from Bridewell, Group IB's longstanding MSSP partner in Europe, and threat researcher Michael Kazawara as part of the Crime Fighters Club. Cybercrime Fighters Club, to be a new ransomware as a service affiliate. So I'm sure there's a nice little write-up in here. Key findings, dubbed Shadow Syndicate uses the same secure shell fingerprint on many servers, 85 at the time of writing. It's a threat actor that works with various ransomware groups and affiliates of ransomware programs. In its attacks, Shadow Syndicate used an off-the-shelf toolkit. This is where I'm going to put a jump cut in. Shadow Syndicate has been active since July 2022. And we can, with strong degree of confidence, attribute Shadow Syndicate to quantum ransomware activity in September 2022. Nokoyawa ransomware activity in October 2022, November 2022, and March 2023, as well as ALF-V activity in February 2023. Maybe it was WinSCP I was using and not WinSFTP. Potentially. Oh, yeah, Lady 2. Yeah, Lady P. We got the right answer. That's the important thing. Yeah, so I'm sure there's more to this write-up. I only scrolled down a little bit, and I'm only about a fourth of the way through the document. So there's going to be some fancy docs. Oh, yeah, they got fancy graphs and pew-pew diagrams and all kinds of stuff on there. So go check that out. The only thing they're missing is the pew-pew diagram. Yeah, research. They've got port numbers, unique hosts with SSH SSH markings on them, IP addresses, IOCs, all the good stuff. Silver open source penetration testing tool in the programming language of Go was also used. So there's another pen testing tool being used for, Nope, not gonna rant on that again. Nope, not for a while. Question number 9. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Okay, I'm not going to sing that. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. That's my impersonation, and that's all you're gonna get it from me, because I'm not that drunk. Sentinel-1 detailed the Sandman APT. Which industry was specifically targeted? Energy, ICS, finance, or telecoms? I am going to assume it's going to be, I'm thinking finance. Telecom? Okay. Go. Oh, I'm out. Lady P, got me. Oh, hurts. They're probably using an up-to-date version of Go too, and using Go code that is, not backwards compatible. So I'm going to say telecoms for magnesium here. Good job, magnesium. Good for you. Got that one right. There you go. Hitting telcos with a Lua JIT toolkit. Lua JIT toolkit. And they've got some guy that looks like Lord Voldemort fan art or some shit, looking like Lua JIT. It's legit. Lua JIT. Too legit to quit. Oh, I got that. That's me. That's me right there. I got that one. That's a dad joke. Legit. New threat, Sandman targeting telecoms in Middle East, Western Europe, and South Asian subcontinent. So South Asian subcontinent's probably India, maybe. Sandman deployed a novel modular backdoor utilizing the Lua JIT platform, a relatively rare occurrence in the threat landscape. We refer to this malware as Lua Dream. Yes, Lua is a programming language. Thank you, Walt. Yes, it is. Lua is yet another scripting language. I want to say it's in... Is that an Nmap? I don't want to say that, but I just said it. I don't think Lua is what's in Nmap. JIT is a just-in-time compiler, right? But yeah, just like Go, it will compile and yeah. Oh, crap. Lua Nmap. Okay. So the scripting language in Nmap is also Lua. So if you are familiar with Nmap, then you'd be familiar with Lua, or at least the scripts inside of it are run Lua. So WoW also uses Lua. Yes, that is true. Make sure I get the link to Google Chat in our Google Doc. There we go. Wow, we're already at 1 minute and an hour 8. Okay. All right, so we got that one right. Telecoms. Go read up on the Sandman APT. It's not a new APT, I don't think. So, they're always trying to reinvent themselves. You can go check that out. Number 10. I believe this is the final question. We're in sudden death over time here because I'm pretty sure that we did it just like Go. It will fail. They don't call me Break for nothing. Oh, you cut me deep, lady. Sorry. Number 10, the final question for all the marbles and, whoever picks up the tab. North Korean hackers were targeting victims with fake recruitment scams involving programming challenges. What was the first coding challenges the targets asked to complete? Oh, God. God, what a great attack, right? Give somebody a coding challenge for something that, would be something you'd want to gain access to, right? Like, we're a block or a Bitcoin company and we want to do X. I don't know. I don't have a good example of it, but you probably could do something. The bubble sort thing, it feels like that is kind of a play on what Google was doing back in the day. Yeah, magnesium, you're absolutely correct. Bubble sort. My guess is it's going to be the bubble sort. I'm going to go with that. It's okay. It's okay, magnesium. You and I were on the same wavelength thing here. It was writing Hello World. Oh, Bastards. So Lazarus is luring people in Trojan ice coding challenges. It really sucks because there's folks trying to find a job. They're already at, I don't want to say at risk, but they're already susceptible to social engineering because you've got somebody coming out to them, hey, we work for a company, just fill out this thing here, something real simple like a hello world. Hey, I can do that. I'll just go to ChatGPT or I'll go look it up on server, Stack Overflow. Here's the coding challenge. Click on this link. I don't know if it's that easy. We'll have to read the article. But that just sucks. It just sucks that they're capitalizing on not good nature, but they're capitalizing on the desperation of people who may be unemployed right now, especially considering all of the vulnerability, all of the people who've been let go recently. ESET researchers uncovered a Lazarus attack against an aerospace company in Spain where the group deployed several tools, most notably a publicly undocumented backdoor we named Lightless Can. Lazarus operators obtained initial access to the company's network last year after a successful spear phishing campaign masquerading as a recruiter for Meta, the company behind Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Fake recruiter contacted the victim via LinkedIn messaging, a feature within the LinkedIn professional social networking platform, sent 2 coding challenges required as part of a hiring process, which the victim downloaded and executed on the company device. The first challenge is a very basic project that displays the text "Hello World." The second one prints a Fibonacci sequence, a series of numbers in which each number is the sum of the 2 preceding ones. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. That's as far as I'm going to go. Magnesium, out of left field. Are you speaking anywhere? Is that on your plan in the near future term? Good question, Magnesium. Once I'll finish up with this, I'll mention the CISSP bootcamp, which I'll be at next week and on the 14th. I guess it just did. Anyway, the Hello World. ESET research was able to reconstruct the initial access steps and analyze the toolset used by Lazarus thanks to the cooperation of the affected aerospace company. This is in Spain, so there's an aerospace company in Spain. Let me go see. Aerospace company, Spain. Pangea Aerospace, Celestia Aerospace, Aerospace Interiors SL. Let's see, what else we got? Reductia Aerospace, E-Cube. Alestius Aerospace, UARX Space, Air Nova. Okay, so there's a few, right? So it's not, like I can't imagine it's not a Boeing, it's not an Airbus. If it was France, I would have almost immediately said Airbus, but Air Electric, anyway. So they gained access. It wasn't even a person who was out of work. Fuck. I just god awful. All right. Anyway, so there's a write up from We Live Security. All right. So let's see how we did, and then next. Oh, we've got one more. It's not 11 now. There's only 12. Okay. Well, we got one more. Hold on. According to U.S. cyber agencies, where are China-linked hackers hiding? Router firmware, LinkedIn, U.S. internet cafes, or microchips. Could be a supplier to Airbus. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Walt. They're not trying to, get into Airbus. Firmware Magnesium, I think you're right on that one. I think they're hiding in firmware. Makes for nice, nobody patches that stuff, so it becomes real vulnerable real quick. Yep. 100% correct. Good on you there, Magnesium. Yep. Nope, that makes sense. Here's a TLP clear from the NSA, NIST Cyber Security Advisory. Black Tech, a.k.a. Palmer Worm, Temp Overboard, Circuit Panda, Radio Panda actors have targeted government, industrial technology, media, electronics, and telecommunications sectors. Is there any sector they haven't targeted? Because that looks like that's all of them. Including entities that support the militaries of the U.S. and Japan. Okay, there you go. So you can read that TLP clear. It is 12 pages of awesome. They probably have some. Good night, Lady P. All right. Good night. Lady P's awesome, by the way. If you haven't had a chance to talk to her in our Discord and in our Slack, go check her out. She is a wealth of knowledge, and I'm happy she's a friend. And someone I can ask questions to and won't give me bullshit. So it's nice. I mean, not that I've gotten bullshit from. Yeah, damn. Okay. Anyway, that's a jump cut. Anyway, no. So yeah, there's a nice write up here. They've got TDPs, Spider Pig, Spider Spring, Spider Stack. So yeah, there you go. You can go check those out. Miter attack techniques. So yeah, this is a nice report. I don't know when they initially pushed it out, but it's good that they're giving this information and sharing it more often. I'm gonna close those out. All right. So next. The only other one that I know of in the news that happened had to deal with Johnson something, but it's a controller ICS stuff. So if we get I don't know where our next question is going to be here. Oh, nope, that's it. Okay. Next week, SOCVEL might have something on the industrial control system company, Johnson Controls, I think, something like that. They apparently were infiltrated, and they also provide like floor plans and like HVAC systems and things for a lot of DHS related buildings. So anyway, go check out this site, socvel.com. Sign up for the quiz. You get it in an email once a week, and it's a really great write-up on, staying informed about, things like that. So yeah, go check that out. All right. How did we do? I've already signed up for it, so I'm not going to sign up again, but put your email address in. It's the only thing you get from SOCVEL. And if you found value from this, in the podcast, for the audio podcast folks, I will put a link to SOCVEL. You buymeacoffee.socvel. So copy link. If you found value in this, $5, and you get to, stay informed of important things. buymeacoffee.com/SOCVEL. So I'll also put that link in our notes as well. You can go check that out. So submit and continue. We got 6 of 10. Yeah. All right. I really get that well. I really do that well. So I'm going to blame magnesium for doing so well. I can blame people for positive things, right? I mean, it kind of goes against the grain, but I can blame people for positive things. So yeah, I don't know why that came up, but that's because I clicked on it from there. So, but yeah, so where was the one about Johnson ICS controls, Johnson ICS. DHS buildings hacked. Yeah, there we go. Dark reading. So this one may come up next week. So get to work on homework for next week for potential SOCVEL questions. There you go. Internal memo cites DHS floor plans could have been accessed in the breach. Johnson Control Services, government contractor providing building automation services to facilities such as HVAC, fire, and security equipment. Due to the nature of those services, they're raising concerns about the fact that they were compromised. They hold classified and sensitive contracts for DHS that depict physical securities in many DHS facilities. It might include things like SCIFs, vaults, access to certain systems, that kind of thing. So, password 1 might be the HVAC system code for, the NSA. Not saying it is. Waiting for black helicopters. Okay, no black helicopters. But yeah, so, they're obviously with the partial government shutdown, which I think has already happened, that's going to cause more issues. So there you go. Alrighty. So, magnesium. Yeah, you say, where am I speaking? I don't like speaking at places. I already do enough here. I'm boring by nature, so I like the fact that I don't have people staring at me, judging me, unless you count Lady P. What about Sony? Oh, did Sony get hacked? Oh, thanks. That came from Canva, by the way. I figured it was better than the black background I was using, but this is my chroma, so if I turned it off, you'd get to see what's going on behind. Oh, there's something I was tossing around my coworkers. What threat group has Sony not been compromised by? So far, I've hacktivist crime group Nation State complemented with a smattering of insider threat facilitating the attacks. Right. Yep. Walt says 6-week extension on the shutdown. We'll have to see. The last one was 34 days. I was involved in the one that happened in, I want to say 2007, 2008. I was considered critical personnel because I was a GS-11 at the time working the IT systems on North Island. This was back here in San Diego again. So I still got to work and I still got paid. Some of my military friends did not get paid, which kind of sucked. But thankfully it ended early. I wasn't involved with the last one that happened in 2018, thankfully. That's another reason I decided to leave government work because I was like, yeah, this ain't worth it. So, yeah. Sony. Sony hacked again? Oh, 1 second. Hey, Google, turn on color light 1.
Got it. Turning the color light 1 on.
It's the only reason I use that thing is to turn on the lights in our living room. I just wanted to do that so it would be on when I came downstairs. Sony systems allegedly hacked by new ransomware group. Update. Ooh, there's an update. Hold on 1 sec. Let's scroll back over here. All right, so Magnesium's good call there, Magnesium. So we have ransom claims to have accessed 6,000 files from the tech giant. September 25th article from Australian cybersecurity publication Cybersecurity Connect. PlayStation Maker was cracked open by ransomed.vc, a new outfit of hackers that's only been operating since September. Though the publication suggests the gang has connections to previous dark web forums and groups. Wow, 6,000 files, several Java files, test bench details, and document tree, entire leak. So test bench details, that sounds like internal PowerPoint presentation. Oh, it's an internal PowerPoint presentation. The hack allegedly unearthed screenshots of internal login page. Okay. Just a login page? We won't ransom them. We will sell the data due to Sony not wanting to pay. Data is for sale. We are selling it. Okay. Well, ransomware operator, ransomware as a service org. The VGC claims they operate out of Russia and Ukraine. They work with also reportedly works with the EU's general data and other privacy laws, report vulnerabilities in company systems in violation of laws. According to Cybersecurity Connect, the group is leveraging laws to reportedly bully victims into submission. Interesting. Okay. Sorry, Beta Wolf. My bad. I guess I could have yelled, "Hey Alexa," but I'm sorry for those. I will get rid of that. So I will get rid of that. My bad. It will not take place until mid-November at the earliest. Yeah, I don't know. The thing that gets me is I wish that when the government shut down Congress, people wouldn't get paid either, but apparently it won't affect their pay, which kind of pisses me off. It would be nice if they got their pay affected. It might actually, I would say it might actually change it, but I think a lot of them are millionaires anyway, so they don't really give a shit, which is another sad thing. But I don't want to get too political here. But yeah, so there you go. Sony got hacked by a company or a ransomware as a service system kind of thing. And yeah. That's not where their payola comes from. That's true. They game the system. They play the game, right? And if it's speaking engagements or, I almost wish it was like celebrity endorsements, like NASCAR, hey, we had a lovely day today, Big Oil is helping out, and we had a great day with them. And, it would be nice if it was something like that. But yeah, anyway. What else do we want to talk about? I can leave at any time. This was nice. There's build to do that. The majority support is the problem. Right. Yep. Cool. Glad you enjoyed it there, Magnesium. I'm glad I was able to come back on. Beta Wolf, I do want to get back to Rust. Oh, you know what? I was actually looking at... Psst. Yeah. I heard you. You get over here. Yeah, there you go. Rare. Yeah, you're a pain in my ass. Yes, you are. Yes, you chewed on Copilot, my plant. Yes, you did. And you're still horking up plant 3 days later. Yes, you're a pain in my butt. Yes, you did got caught. Appcodecrafters.catalog. Yes, I saw the link. I also am getting some of your Loop earbuds for me and my wife, because my wife, I've noticed when we go to restaurants, every restaurant now seems to want to be like Abercrombie and Fitch in the freaking place. So it's like, and I'm like, God damn, dude. So we're going to get some of those and, try to make it a little nicer to be able to understand ourselves and not have build your own challenges, build your own BitTorrent, build your own HTTP server, build your own grep on Redis, own Docker. Wow, some of these are huge. Rust, 66 stages of Rust. Good Lord. So wait. Oh, wait, my bad. Sorry. So this is App Crafters. Okay. It's not super hand-holdy. Oh, God. So I need the hand-holdy, Beta Wolf. You don't understand. I need the super hand-holdy. I need to explain to me like I'm 5 with hints and shit so that I know what I'm doing. What is Ben-coded strings? Ben-coded integers. I think you did say this is not for, uber noobs. So, but I was looking up the other day, I was looking up OSs based on Rust. So Rust, OS based on Rust. And there are several Rust-based OSs that I didn't know about. Redux, it's a Unix microkernel operating system written in programming language of Rust. So there's OSs built completely on Rust, which I found kind of interesting. I think that was the story I was reading on my tablet. It was like, is Linux is ready for an inflection point? Damn, I can't find it. I'll post it up in the Discord. But somebody had posted up a think piece on, there was Unix, then Linux came in, it was the pretender to the throne, and now Linux is all bloated and doesn't needs to, it's it's like 30 million lines in the kernel now and shit, and it's like, wow, is there time for that to? All right, Walt, have a good night. Now it's Raspberry Pi. Yeah, I saw there's a Pi 5 is coming out. So Raspberry Pi 5. Let me see. Raspberry Pi 5. Yeah. There you go. Bet these aren't going to be cheap. Coming October 2023. Well, it's October 2023. Where's my Pi? Updates on Pi 5 development, in-depth discussion, new features. USB-C power supply, it's about friggin' time. 27 watts, wow. Okay, so that's not small. Raspberry Pi case for the Pi 5. Active cooler, so it's gonna have a fan. Yeah, it's get a little beefier now. Nope. Only if it's Arch. Lady P. Yeah, it would be nice if this thing ran like a proper Linux and not Raspbian or some shit like that. So let's see what's on the hardware here. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so there's still tons of other versions of these things out. I'm too sore to stand. You know what, Lady P? Oh my God, what was that, Tuesday? Tuesday was leg day for me. We did real heavy leg day, and my calves was killing me up until Saturday. I was building, up my legs. Leg day is always a pain in my ass. So I did leg day today, but to a lesser extent. But yeah, doing 60 seconds of air squats with a 10-pound barbell, and then doing another 60 seconds of those. So it was like I think I did probably about 100 squats, up, down, up, down, up, down. Yeah. My shelf was aching something fierce. And then, we did calf exercises, which I'm doing right now, kind of like Kegels. And the mid of my calf was just dying. I was walking around like an 80-year-old person or something. It was just painful. Kind of like the guy from Up, but I didn't have a cane, and I'm not Ed Asner. Yeah. My trainer likes my enthusiasm. He's okay with that. I use a gym, so I don't know what Calf Pro is, unless it's it's a cow literally that comes in and stretches your calf for you. I don't know what that is. There's not a lot of exercises for the calf, and it's mine is much larger than his. I just assumed everybody neglected leg day, and he's like, no, you for some reason you have huge calves, and I was like, thank you. It's just one of those weird things. Bulgarian squats, yes. Yeah. Kettlebells are a pain in the ass. Yeah, I actually did chest day. Chest and back was on Friday, and I'll tell you what, my chicken wings and my boobies hurt. So, but I told him I want some under boob, so we're going to be working more on chest and back the next couple days. So, 8 hours bushwhacking, 7,100 to 7,800. You're not. See, you're. Yeah. They have machines that do that. AMSL. AMSL? What is AMSL? AMSL. Oh. Wow. You mean above sea level? Yeah. My AMSLs it's like either Applied Microbiology Services Lab, or you're working in the semiconductor industry. So yeah. I don't hate leg day. It's just he's got me doing double lunges and things like that, and it's just I mean, I do it because it I feel like shit afterwards, but it makes me feel good because I can see finally the results in my. Yeah, okay, you got a 30-pound pack. Okay, I have a weight vest that I was using when I was walking around in Seattle. It goes up to 60 pounds, but I put 40 in it. It'll get you, especially above sea level. Okay, yeah. Bushwhacking the Sierras. Whew. You're a better person than I am, Lady P. Dang, that is impressive. So. I think I'm going to go. I have to get trash out and everything, but I'm going to be back on Tuesday. Hope you all will join me. Thank you, everybody who came on. Magnesium, Beta Wolf, Lady P, Walt. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. If you're still on and I missed you, please give us a shout out. Yeah, Magnesium. And like I said, it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, it's Mental Health Awareness Year. I don't think we ever should not have a mental health awareness, month dedicated to it. I think it should be a year. So we're getting down towards the end of the holidays. It's going to be one of those things where you're going to have people that are, having to go see family, or they don't want to go see family, or family's a stress thing, or, we're going to have potentially more layoffs. I did find that there's a federal WARN site, so something to think about. So WARN Federal. Something for folks to keep an eye on if you are potentially worried about these things. Where is that at? So WARN is a site where you can go to companies, large companies, and actually a lot of companies that are about to do layoffs have to notify the federal government that they're going to be doing layoffs. So there's like one for the state of Washington, there's one for the state of California, and you can always keep an eye out for potential layoffs. They have a spreadsheet, or they usually have something, but you can get a list of warn notices, and I'm not saying you would get laid off, but if your company is going to do layoffs, they would have to notify WARN from if they're in California or Washington. They have a federal WARN as well, but it's usually a 60-day notice, so you can always let people know. Some people are savvy enough that's where the rumors come from, because somebody saw it on the WARN site, so you can go and check that out as well. But anyway, thank you all for coming. Hope everyone has a good rest of their weekend, such that it is. Oh, Toronto has B-sides. Yes. Let me get that up so everybody can see it. B-sides Toronto. B-sides Toronto. 2023, October 21st, 2023, Toronto Metropolitan University, ENG 103, George Vary Engineering and Computing Center, 245 Church Street, Toronto, Gould Street entrance. Go check it out at bsidesto.ca. You can go check that out as well. And, if you're in the Toronto area, or you're in, near the border, near Toronto, you can go check that out. B-Sides TO on Twitter, or you can email info@bsidesto.ca. They have a code of conduct and a COVID-19 policy, which is great to see. And they'll probably have a Discord if they don't already have one. So, so I'll be doing a CISP boot camp in Seattle. If you are a CISP and you need some CPEs, you can go to the boot camp. There's still tickets, I think, to sign up. There'll be a link in the show notes, but I don't have the link with me right now on Eventbrite. I think I mentioned it in a previous stream, which will be on YouTube by now. I'll be teaching asset management and network security, so Module 2 and Module 4. I taught those in 2018. The books have changed a little bit. I think I'm going to save my conversation about those two modules for Tuesday's rant about what CISP believes people should be doing. I actually had to take a break for some of those things because some of them kind of made me unhappy. But I know I have to teach the test, so I have to keep my opinions to myself but there's a lot of stuff there. It's like, you're not gonna do this. This is major shit. Just doing these one things, it's just like, oh yeah, start a Anyway, I don't want to get into it right now. I'm gonna get angry and I got to go to bed. But yeah, there's definitely some things in there that are like, yeah, I got to definitely just teach the test and, assume that you're going to do this as a CISP. Come and talk to me after the CISP boot camp is done, and we'll have adult drinks and talk about that. But I'm going to be doing a Zoom thing, so I'll be recording video and stuff, and I'll, doing it remotely. So we'll have a virtual event, and we're going to do the on-site in Seattle. So I'll be doing, 2 weekends of that. It's the 7th and the 14th, but it goes the whole 4 Saturdays in October. So if you want to join that, check out the Discord. I'll put the link in the Discord. Discord. You can join our Discord, or you can join our Slack, or both. And I'll put the link to the Eventbrite in there. And I think it's like 100 if you're a member of the Puget Sound ISSA or ISC Squared or ISACA, 200 if you're not. And I think it's probably cheaper if you just buy membership to Puget Sound ISSA, which is like $35, and then you'll save yourself 100. So maybe that's why they did it by design. I don't know. Anyway, it's still time, and I think there's probably still tickets because there's a virtual component, so you don't have to be in Seattle. I'm in San Diego. I'm not going to fly up there for this, and we'll do this, and I'll brief, and I'll have my slides up here kind of like this, and we'll have us a good old time. So hope you come and join me, and ask some questions. We'll ask some hard questions, but know that I have to teach to the test. I don't agree necessarily with what's in the CBK, but we have to teach to the test. So that's one of the biggest issues I got. Anyway, so have a good night, good day if you're on. Take care of yourselves, as we're fond of saying, because you're the only you have. And we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye, y'all.